Good evening, everyone. Who's with us? Okay, we have Hilton with us. Hello, Hilton. Who's with us? I see Frank with us. Frank with us. I see also Jeffrey with us. Baruch Hashem. Good. Good. Oh, Dr. Les. How are you, Dr. Les?
Shalom, Rav. How are you? Shabbat
Baruch Hashem. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank God. All good. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. All good, Rav. Yeah.
Dr. Les, give us the news.
Okay, so, it was Shabbos, but a very interesting and very important world event happened over Shabbos. We saw Motzei Shabbos was the coronation of King Charles III at Westminster Abbey. So I don't know, Rav, if our listeners, if they know, but Charles III has got a very, very close kesher, very close connection with the chief rabbi, Sir Ephraim Mervis, Sir Ephraim Mervis, and also with his wife, Lady Valerie. Now, Ephraim Mervis and actually comes from South Africa, and his wife Valerie actually comes from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe. And they've been the chief rabbi. He was inaugurated, I think, in 2013. And at his inauguration as chief rabbi, Charles, who was then Prince Charles, actually came. He left his holiday at Balmoral, and he came to be part of the inauguration of the chief rabbi, where he took over from the late Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. So he's had a very close connection, Charles, with the Jewish community, and especially with the chief rabbi, for actually many years. Also, I don't know if you all know that Charles's grandmother actually is Chasidei Umot Olam. She actually was from Greece, from Athens, and during the war she hid a Jewish family, and she was recognized by Yad Vashem as righteous amongst the nations, and she's actually buried here in Yerushalayim. So at the ceremony, which was held at the Westminster Abbey, they invited Rabbi Mervis, and he actually stepped over at the St. James Palace, him and the Rebbitzin and his wife, and they provided them with kosher food, which is actually quite unbelievable. And on Shabbos morning, the chief rabbi went to Marble Arch Shul to daven before the coronation. And at the coronation, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's actually quite unbelievable. The ceremony opened with Tehillim 22, which goes, "Let our feet stand at the gates of Yerushalayim." So that's how the ceremony opened. And Rabbi Mervis, he actually mentioned to the other world leaders that that the olive oil that Charles was anointed actually came from Yerushalayim. So it's quite amazing. Now the President Herzog and his wife, they actually also came for the coronation. And what happened is that they, because it was Shabbos, they were very sensitive, and they actually stayed in a residence quite near where Westminster Abbey is, so they didn't have to mechalel Shabbos. And what they did extra for the chief rabbi is when he gave, together with other religious leaders, they give like a little speech. They made sure that he never had a microphone, so he didn't have to mechalel Shabbos with a microphone. So, Rav, I think it's actually quite amazing that you see the sensitivity and the respect that's been given to not only to Rabbi Mervis but to the Jewish people by Charles III. And also, what's very interesting is that his son William, who's next in line, and his wife Kate, they're have also a very close connection with Am Yisrael. William's been to Israel, and he was very popular here. And his wife Kate, she's hosted many survivors, and I've actually met some of the survivors that she's actually hosted. They have a very open heart, and they're very welcoming to Holocaust survivors. So Bezrat Hashem, it's good that we've got friends in high places.
Yeah. Be'ezrat Hashem. Thank you.
Wishing you all the best for Lag Baomer, and
Amen. And that's what we're going to speak tonight. That's what we're going to speak tonight, Be'ezrat Hashem. Dr. Les, thank you very much. With no further notice, we're going to start speaking about Lag Baomer. What are we going to speak tonight about? Number one, why we don't say Tahanun on Lag Baomer. Why is it so important that on Yom Lag Baomer we don't say Tahanun? We speak about the book of the Zohar. We speak about what's happening in the cave, Be'ezrat Hashem, while Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son was in the cave. Why do we light bonfire on Lag Baomer? And then I'm going to explain why does he have to be for 13 years. Why is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son have to be in a cave for 13 years? Why is it so important? So Be'ezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach ve'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. I would like to dedicate the shiur in a soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Rav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zehava, Yaakov Salomon ben Farhad, Dvorah Ruth Bat Beila, Shosha Blima Bat Mordechai Betzalel, Miriam Bat Moshe, Malka Regina Bat Joya, Keti Gurgia Bat Farham, Menachem Tzion ben Ketia, Zehava Bracha Bat Malka, Nishmatam Tiye Tzvura B'tzura Haim. Also, I would like to dedicate the show in health of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, Arav Moshe ben Bahia Batia, Arav Moshe ben Devora, Arav Avraham ben Marina, Arav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvorah Ruth, Dvorah Bat Esther, Orna Bluma Bat Miriam, Sheina Keila Bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesa Reza, Shmuel ben Michal, Baruch ben Sarah, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Miriam Zelda Bat Shosha Blima, Miriam Bat Zelda Liba, Moshe Avram Ben Henariva, Haya Tzipora Bat Rachel, Ayala Eden Bat Rivka, Tova Liba Bat Rachel, Yehudit Bat Rika, ויהושע חיים Ben Haya Lea. Please God, רפואה שלמה to כל חולי עמו ישראל בכל מקום שהם. Yes, בכבוד.
Haya Masha. Rivka Bat Zelda. Haya Masha Rivka. Masha. Rivka.
Yeah. Rivka.
Bat Zelda.
Chaim Pinchas.
Chaim Pinchas.
Ben Yehudit.
Ben Yehudit. Please God, רפואה שלמה to all of them ולכל חולי ופצועי עמו ישראל. בכל מקום שהם. רבותיי, tomorrow night it's Lag Baomer. Lag Baomer, which means the 33 days of the Omer, it's always fall on the 18th of Iyar. And Rabbi Moshe Iserlich wrote on the Shulchan Aruch, when I said the Shulchan Aruch, he bring, and he said there, in Siman Taf Tzadik Gimel, Siman Saif, that means 493, verse 2, said the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Iserlich, who he was. Rabbi Moshe Iserlich, he was the rabbi of Krakow, first of all. He born in the city of Krakow. Krakow is in Poland. He born around 493 years ago, close by. Okay, and he said on the Shulchan Aruch, that we don't say, listen to that. We don't say Tahanun on Lag Baomer. Why? And he said, "V'marbim bo k'tzat simcha." That means we're adding up a little bit of joy and happiness on Lag Baomer. We have to understand why. Why we don't say Tahanun? Why we have to add up a bit of joy and happiness? As you all know, from Lag Baomer, that means on Lamed Dalet, the 34, already all the prohibition that we have, shaving, cutting hair, having simcha, that means people can get married and etc. is allowed. We have to understand why. So first of all, I'm going to bring 5 different opinions, Rabotai, 5 different opinions, and a matter of fact, 3 of them, it's all been written by different Rabbonim, but they all referring to one. So according to Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot, let's start with the Gemara. Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Yevamot, in page 62, folio 2, tell us that Lag Baomer, on a day of the 33 of the Omer, that we count the Omer, Pasku Talmidei Rabbi Akiva Milamut. What does it mean? The Meiri, he was one of the rabbi that wrote commentary on a Gemara. He born around 774 years ago. He born in the north of France. Okay, in his commentary on Masechet Yevamot, he explained that the student of Rabbi Akiva actually stopped dying on the 33 days of counting of the Omer. Counting, that means Lamed Gimel Baomer. The Aruch HaShulchan, and also the Hida, the Gaon Hida. Aruch HaShulchan been written by Rabbi Yehiel Michael Halevi Epstein. He born in Belarus around 194. And he says, you know why I don't say Tahanun on Lag Baomer? I tell you why. Because on Lag Baomer, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son, Rabbi Eliezer, came out of the cave after 13 years that they were sitting in a cave. We'll explain that also. The Gaon Hida, in his book Mar'eit Ayin, Gaon Hida is Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai. He born in Jerusalem around 299 years ago. He also explained that on that day, Rabbi Akiva and his son came out of the cave. Now, why am I saying? There's a lot of ideas, and a lot of people say that Rabbi Akiva died. There is an opinion like this, that it's the Yortzeit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Lag Baomer is the Yortzeit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. I saw that also the Arab Ovadia Yosef, Zecher Tzadik L'Kadosh Livracha, he also bring in his book regarding the Moadim, in his book Hazon Ovadia, that on Lag Baomer, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son, Rabbi Elazar, came out of the cave. So so far we brought close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 opinions. Now I'm going to bring another opinion of the Hatam Sofer. The Hatam Sofer explained completely different. He says it have nothing to do, a matter of fact, with the death of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. It's not his Yortzeit. He doesn't speak about it. He doesn't say that they came out of the cave. Nothing. Listen to what the Hatam Sofer said. The Hatam Sofer is Rabbi Moshe Sofer. Rabbi Moshe Sofer born in the city of Frankfurt in Germany around 266 years ago. In Shut Hatam Sofer. Shut, the She'elot V'Tshuvot. What does it mean? Question and answer to the Hatam Sofer. And there, in Ilchot Yoreh De'ah, in Siman Resh Lamed Gimel, that means 233, he said like this: in the day of Yud Het B'Iyar, in the 18th of Iyar, listen to that it's Lag Baomer, Haman hifsik Haman laredet. That means that the manna stopped coming down from heaven. V'yithelu b'nei Israel, and the children of Israel start eating from the new grain of the land of Eretz Israel. That means on Yud Het B'Iyar came the manna, on Yud Het B'Iyar it stopped the manna. And he said that it's the first time after the exodus of Bnei Israel from Egypt that they entered the land of Eretz Israel, they start eating from the new grain. That means that's what we call Tvuah Hadasha, what in some people call it Kemah Hadash. Okay, that's the new prohibition after the bring Korban HaOmer. Okay, now that's explanation regarding Lag Baomer. But many of the sages, everyone speaking that Lag Baomer have to do a lot with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And who was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? We all know that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a great sage, etc. But who he was, what do we know about him? And tonight, Be'ezrat Hashem, I will try to explain. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, born in the Galilee. He born in the Galilee. He born to his father Yochai. Bar, it means son. In Aramaic, Bar, it means son. Shimon Bar Yochai, Shimon, the son of Yochai. His mother called Sarah. His mother, her name was Sarah. Okay. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, when did he live? He lived during the destruction of the second temple. That means in the 2nd century. Okay. He was the 4th generation of the Tanaim. Tanaim is the sages. He was the 4th generation. His main rabbi that taught him the main Torah for 13 years, it was Rabbi Akiva, famous Rabbi Akiva, that we mourn for his student, okay, during the period of Lag Baomer. And he actually received his smicha by Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, after all of his students died, he put a lot of effort and a lot of emphasis for his 5 students that left in the south of Israel. It was Rabbi Yehuda, it was Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and Rabbi Elazar ben Shammua. Okay, so he got his smicha from Rabbi Akiva. His mother, Sarah, was for many years, she battled to have children. And one year, Rabbota, listen to that story. In Rosh Hashanah night, at night, they're going to sleep, she and her husband, and Sarah having a dream, the mother of Rabbi Shimon. And in this dream, she see an angel coming down from heaven, and he have a jar of water. And he going from every plant, from plant to plant, that dry, and those plants that dry, doesn't have flower, as a matter of fact, you can say that they finished their dead. He water them with the water, and suddenly the flowers start coming alive, start flourishing. Sarah, in a dream, she calling the angel to allow her to drink from those water, from Maim Haim, a life water. Maybe she can fall pregnant to have a child. And that's how the dream ended. In the morning when she wake up, she was so excited, so nervous. And she told her husband Yochai about the story. The funny part, Yochai had exactly the same story. They both, the dream, they have the same dream. They decide, you know what, who can interpret the dream for us? Who's the best place to go? To Rabbi Akiva, because he was the chief rabbi. They're gone to Rabbi Akiva, he was the greatest sage, and they told him the story word by word. Rabbi Akiva told Sarah Imenu, and he given her the good news that she's already pregnant. And in 9 months from now, she's gonna have a son that's gonna light the entire world in his Torah. That means that his Torah gonna be so great that all the world gonna be in light for it. And that's what we call the book of the Zohar. And that's what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote. I want to speak a little bit about the book of the Zohar, and then I want to move to the cave to catch as fast as we can. Many people intend to think that the written of the Zohar was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. No, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai finished to write it, but later on, he given it to his student, Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba, he actually the one that wrote the book of the Zohar, obviously by the permission of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, because he dictated to them how to write. He explained to them word by word what to write. So Rabbi Abba wrote the Zohar, okay? And what is the book of the Zohar? What is that, the book of the Zohar? The book of the Zohar is a Kabbalistic book that actually revealed to us the secret of the Torah. That means there is certain thing that on different mystical level, when we start reading the Torah, in deeper meaning, the Zohar explained to us why it's hiding behind everything. That means the book of the Zohar is the secret of our holy Torah, the written Torah. I just have to explain here, these people from the Yemenite people that lived quite close to 100 years ago. They called the Dardaim. What it means, Dardaim, Dorda, the generation of knowledge. And they didn't want to accept the book of the Zohar. The sages say, the Chachamim then make a gzera that they cannot be part, okay, of the Jewish people. What does it mean they can be part of the Jewish people? The same like the Karaite, that they believe only in a written Torah. They don't believe in the oral Torah. So it was those people that didn't want to accept the book of the Zohar. Okay? The book of the Zohar, you have to understand, been audited by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai while he was for 13 years in a cave, for 12 years in a cave. While they were sitting in a cave, him and his son, that's when he started revealing the secret of the Zohar. How has it been revealed to you? By Eliyahu Navi. Eliyahu Navi used to come every day and teach Torah to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Elazar, his son. Okay, what happened? The Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, in page 33, folio 2, Lamed Gimel, Amud Bet, Tani Elaf, Lamed Gimel, Lag Baomer, 33. Chazal explained that the main reason that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai have to leave his house and to run away and to hide in a cave, to flee, is because the Roman Empire put a decree, okay, that he deserved the punishment of death. What happened? There, Chazal explained that was a story that one of the rabbis said, look, how beautiful what the Roman developed. How did they develop Israel? So each one says something. The one said it's nice, the one kept quiet. The one that gone against the Roman Empire was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And he said like this. He said, whatever they done it only for their own benefit. They didn't done it for us to benefit because they're charging tax. And the main reason that they done it, they didn't done it for our benefit. They done it only for their sake. And therefore, there's nothing to praise them. Was there Yehuda ben Gerim, and somehow there's different opinion if he was a Malshin, if he was a Moser. Moser is mean to give up Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, if he tittle-tell or not, there's different opinion. And when the Roman Empire heard about it, that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai actually speak about it so badly, that they put the punishment of death on him. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, at the beginning, used to hide at Bet HaMidrash, but he realized that he can't be there for too long. Sooner or later, the Roman Empire soldier will hold his wife, might gonna torture, and she gonna say that where is he hiding? So he decided, without telling anyone, just him and his son, gonna disappear. And where did they go? They gone to Ma'arat Pke'im, the cave in Pke'im, right in the north. And they was there for 12 years, Rabotai. For 12 years, they was there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a miracle for them. okay, that's a grown up tree of cherub, and they have a well coming that they can drink water. And for 12 years, it was like this. Chazal tell us in the Gemara, after 12 years, the Caesar of the Roman Empire died, and when he died, all the decree gets wiped off. That means get erased. Eliyahu and Rabbi come and given the good news to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son, and they left the cave. And wherever they're gone, because they were so holy and they were studying 24/7 Torah, wherever they put their eyes, they actually burned. And they couldn't understand that how people can live the Holy Torah and actually gonna be busy with physical life. So they was walking and they saw a man plowing his garden, they saw someone harvesting, and immediately, because they raised themselves to such a level and they were so holy, automatically that kind of energy came and burned the field. Chazal tell us in the Gemara, came a voice from heaven. Le'achriv olami yetzatem. That means a voice came from heaven and said to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai his son, to destroy my world, you came out of the cave. Chizru. That means go back. Chizru lemkomechem. That means go back to where you was. And Chazal tell us that they're gone for another year. For 13 years now, they were sitting in a cave. We'll explain why Dafka 13 years. What happened here? That they reached to such a higher level that they couldn't see people actually working physically. And the energy, that holy energy that they have on them, was so strong that wherever they looked, they burned. After a year, they came out again. Chazal tell us what happened. Now, Rabbi Elazar, the son of Rabbi Akiva, used to burn. The son of Rabbi Shimon used to burn, and Rabbi Shimon used to put the fire down. Okay? And that's how was leaving the cave from Ki'im. Why do we light the bonfire in Lag Baomer? Why is it so important? So, as you all know, it's a custom to light the bonfire. As a matter of fact, that custom is very big all over the world, especially in Israel, in Miron. That's what's happened. We know that the secret of the Torah, that's the book of the Zohar, been finished by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai when? On Lag Baomer. And on that day, the opinion say, one opinion, that the entire cave where there was surrounded with fire. In a merit of that he finished to order the Zohar, and it was such a fire all over the cave because of the holiness, we lighting bonfire on Lag Baomer on that day. Another interpretation that I'll bring, that Eliyahu and Navi used to come from heaven and used to teach him Torah. And when he used to come to teach him Torah, was a pillar of fire from the cave to the heaven. Why? Because the level of studying Torah and the Kedusha, the holiness that they were studying Torah, make like a pillar of fire from earth, from the cave, right to heaven. In a merit of that, we light a bonfire. The third explanation, like we explained, that when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son used to come out of the cave on Lag Baomer, wherever they used to look, they used to burn the place. In a merit of that, we're lighting the bonfire to remind us that on that day that they left, they were so holy that the secret of the Torah that was with it. The full interpretation, we know that the Torah is like a fire. And when they finished to compose the book of the Zohar, the secret of the Torah, that's the highest fire. That's why we light bonfire on Lag Baomer. to show that on that day, the book of the Zohar concealed. That's it. There is the book of Zohar, that's it. Now it's forever. And it's to remind us the fire of the Torah, the secret of the Torah. Maybe it's a place here just to remind one more thing. I spoke about it in previous year. There is a custom on Lag Baomer that little kids playing with bow and arrow. I don't know how many of you know about it. In Israel, the little kids make a bow and arrow and they play with it. Why dafka on Lag Baomer? So the explanation is like this. Chazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat that during the lifetime of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the rainbow no one saw the rainbow in heaven. And we know that the rainbow is a sign that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told the world that he's supposed to bring the flood again, but because he promised that he's not going to destroy the world again, he's sending us a sign to correct our deeds. Say Hazal in a Gemara that during the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the merit of his studying Torah, the rainbow never been shown in the sky, in the heaven. Therefore, those that say that he came out of the cave, those that say that that's his Yotza, whatever the case is, we play with bow and arrow, the kids. Why? To remind that during the time of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, never saw the rainbow in heaven. Now I would like to get to more depths, Rabotai, and now I'm going to speak to you about the part of what Ari HaGadosh revealed to us, Rabbeinu Ari HaKadosh. Why that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai have to sit for 13 years in a cave? Why such a difficult, harsh punishment? Why dafka 13 years? So I would like to start with the reincarnation. Who was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? Rabbeinu Ari in Shar Ma'amare Rashbi. Shar, it's a gate that speak about Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on Parashat Bereshit, on the book of Bereshit. It was, where did I see it? I think it was verse, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember. But it's in Parashat Bereshit. Listen to that. He explained that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is a reincarnation of Ahya Ashiloni. I will explain who's Ahya Ashiloni also. Also the Rama Mipano, Rabbi Menachem Azariah Mipano. He born in a city of Bologna. City of Bologna is in Italy. He born around 475 years ago. And in his book, Sefer HaGilgulim, the book of reincarnation, many people intend to think that there is only one book. No, there's two different books. There's Shar HaGilgulim, the gate of reincarnation, that's been written by Ari HaKadosh, the Mahar, his student wrote it, and Sefer HaGilgulim, the book of reincarnation. The book of reincarnation written by the Rama Mipano, that was a great Kabbalistic rabbi that lived in Italy. And today I checked it. I wanted to make sure that I'm 100%. In Ot Pei, that means in verse letters 80, verse 8, there he writes, I checked it up, that Rashbi was a reincarnation of Ahya Shiloni. Who was Ahya Shiloni? Ahya Shiloni, I saw it in Midrash Yalkut Shimoni. Yalkut Shimoni is a Midrash that's been written by Rabbi Shimon Ashkenazi from Frankfurt. Not alone known when is he born. They don't give a lot of information. As a matter of fact, as much that I researched, I couldn't find. And he's in his Midrash on the Book of Kings, number 1. Okay, Remez Reshtet, that means 209, he explained there that Ahya Shiloni, okay, listen to that, he was a prophet that in the age of 60, he left with the children of Israel, Egypt. He was with the children of Israel during the Exodus, not the end. After that, he lived for many years until the time of the second temple, the first temple, sorry. He was Eliyahu Hanavi was his student. He lived for 580 years ago. That means the prophet Ahya Shiloni, that was the seventh prophet, okay, the seventh generation for the prophet in that time, he was he taught Eliyahu Hanavi, and he was the reincarnation. I mean, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was his reincarnation. What does one have to do with each other? Chazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, in page Lamed Gimel, folio 2, that the main reason, like we explained, that the Roman forced Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai to hide and to be in a cave, and he was there for 13 years. Why dafka 13 years? Rabotai, now I have to go back and to do the history of the Jewish people. What it means, the history of the Jewish people. Listen to that. Chazal tell us something very interesting. Chazal tell us that Ahya Shiloni was a prophet during the time of the king. Which king? We know that after Shlomo HaMelech died, King Solomon was the third king. The first king was Shaul. After that, his father David. David was the father of Shlomo HaMelech. After Shlomo, that was the third king, came his son Rehavam. Rehavam was the son of Shlomo HaMelech. He became a king. And during his time, the Jewish nation been split. It was the split between Malchut Israel and Malchut Yehuda. What happened there? Rehavam, when he became a king, the Jewish people came to him and he said, listen, the tax that your father put on us is very heavy, and please give us a bit of a relief. He gone to consult with the elderly people, and the elderly people tell him, listen to your nation, give them a bit of a release from the tax. Maybe you should think about it. Rehavam going to ask then the youths, and the youths tell them, what are you talking about? Tell them that definitely not. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the tax even higher. And that's what he done. He listened to the youths and became like a revolution during his time in the Jewish nation. And 2 tribes stay with him. That's called Malchut Yehuda. And other 10 tribes left him and follow Yerovam ben Nevat, the king Yerovam ben Nevat that was for the Jewish people. Yerovam ben Nevat at the beginning was a great tzaddik, great tzaddik. One of the greatest tzaddikim that was. And he was from Dan, okay, from Dan, an area of Dan, etc. What happened? It was that Yerovam ben Nevat wrote a letter, and he asked all the rabbi that there is with him to give him the authority, no matter what happened, he's the king of the Jewish people. But he was very clever. He managed to convince the older prophet that was Ahya Shiloni to sign on a letter also to say that even him and all the other tzaddikim that was in that generation, that he's the king. And whatever the king said, they have to do, the nation has to do. Even if he tell them to worship idols. At the beginning, they said to him, what are you talking about? To worship idols? But everyone knew that Yerovam ben Nevat was such a righteous person. And Yerovam ben Nevat, no one even believed that he's going to worship. So he explained to him, I'm a righteous man. What I'm saying, that I want the authority that no one going to go against me. And that's why I'm saying it. That even if I say to worship idol, people have to listen. And the rabbis at the beginning debated, yes, no, and then he managed to convince them, and in the end they signed, include Ahya Shiloni, the prophet Ahya Shiloni. Later on came that Yerovam ben Nevat became wicked. He was a righteous man, but lo alenu, when the kingdom, he sit on a chair of the king, he start to become arrogant, proud, and he's lo alenu lost it. And instead of continuing to be a righteous man, he became idol worshiper. And when it was the festival for the Jewish people, he said, no one can go to Jerusalem. He actually closed all the border. Until later on, his son, Aviad, that he born, he canceled all of those decrees. But that was much, much later. In the meantime, become a great disaster in the Jewish people, that Yerovam ben Nevat forced the nation to worship idol. Said the mystical rabbi, you know who caused it? It's because everyone listened to the prophet Ahya Shiloni. Ahya Shiloni, lo alenu, been punished. For that, he became blind. He suffered from that. He done tshuva. Although that he'd been misled, but because he was the greatest leader, the Jewish leader in that time, the rabbinical leader, and everyone looked at him. If he signed, that's it. Hazal said, the mystical rabbi said, come and I explain to you. Now we've done the introduction. Why 13 years? The mystical rabbi explained like this. If you take the word Ehad, what's the gematria of Ehad? 13. Aleph, Het, Daled. 13. He said what caused by Ahya Shiloni, by that he signed the letter with the other Rabbonim, that he actually desecrated the name Ehad. What did we say in Shema Israel? Shema Israel, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Ehad. Listen, Israel. The Almighty is our God, okay? And He's one. Now that they start worshiping idols, it's like they're having two gods. Now, Ahya Shiloni passed. They have to do rectification for his sin. Came Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai as his reincarnation. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that was his soul, okay? Have to rectify this mistake. By that he said 13 years in a cave, it's to do the rectification for Ehad. What it means, the Ehad? That he signed the letter that if Yerovam ben Nevat will tell you that you can worship idol, you must listen to him. So for that he changed from one to Avodah Zarah, you have to do rectification. Say the mystical rabbi, Chachmei Asod, that for that reason, he been punished to sit for 13 years. 13 years. Where 13 years? In a cave. Dafka, that is punished. To rectify that, to change. Say the mystical rabbi, also you have to understand something very important. That's why he wrote the book of the Zohar. Why the book of the Zohar? That now not only that he gonna do rectification, that there's only one God, he gonna write the book of the Zohar. He gonna reveal the secret of our Torah. That means what's hiding behind in the depth of our Torah, the explanation. So that's why you have to write the book of the Zohar. That was his rectification for the sin that he done in previous lives is Ahya Shiloni. When he came in this life, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he done all of those rectification. Now we have to understand why Eliyahu Hanavi, that was a student of Ahya Shilomi, he have to come to teach Torah to who? To Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Rabbi Elazar. The Mefarshim explain, because Ahya Shiloni used to teach the Torah to who? To Eliyahu Hanavi. Now that he come in reincarnation, Dafka Eliyahu Hanavi that learned Torah from Ahya Shiloni, that was a great righteous man, he have to come and teach them the Torah to do the rectification. So we see, Rabota, in this world, everything fit. There is no such thing coincidence, it happened. HaKadosh Baruch Hu do everything specifically. That means that the main reason that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai have to sit in a cave for 13 years to do rectification, to do atonement, to that in previous lives he signed a letter, that because of him, become takala, it's a mistake, that people start worshipping idol. Nachon, that he didn't done it on purpose. He would have been misled, but Yerovam ben Nevat. But still, you signed the letter. Later on, many people look who signed it. Ahya Shilomi, the greatest prophet. You caused the problem. Now you have to do rectify. I also spoke today about something very interesting. I'm sure that some of you are going to ask, if you look, why Dafka, it have to be a carob tree, inside the cave? What's so special about the carob? And why Dafka water? Water, they need to drink. Okay, Maim Hayim. What it mean, Maim Hayim? Life water. But why Dafka carob? So today I was walking with a good friend and we spoke about it. And I explained like this. I explained that the main reason Hazal tell us in Masechet Avot that the lifespan of a person, 70 shana, v'im bigvorot 80 shana. That usually the lifespan of a person is 70 years. Nachon, that today it's changed because Baruch Hashem, we have medical, more advanced medical, people live much longer. Okay? But in average, people live for 70 years. He come to tell you that here it was a hint to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. The lifespan is 70 years of a human being. When does the cherub tree start giving fruit? Hazal explained that you can benefit from it after 70 years. That it's come to tell you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu telling Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, that all the work that you have in life, that you're coming to this world for 70 years, it's to rectifying what you've done in your previous life. So the tree that was there is to rectify all the mistake that the person done during his life. To him, to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, listen, you are a reincarnation of Ahya Shiloni, the prophet Ahya Shiloni. And you come to this world to do rectification, okay, for what you've done wrong in your previous life. And that was the tree of cherub. Then the Mefarshim say, why does he have to bury himself in the sand? What happened? I'm going to ask me what happened. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son couldn't leave the cave for 13 years. So they have the clothes that they have with them when they ran into the cave. And that clothes, they used to hang it. And when they used to study Torah, you're not allowed to study Torah naked. They used to bury themselves in the sand. And only when they used to go out of the sand to daven, when they used to stand and daven Amidah, they used to wear the clothes and on Shabbos. Why did they have to bury themselves? Hazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat that when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son came out of the cave, his father-in-law took him in to wash him, and he saw that his body was like being slitted all over. Hatachim was have slits all over his body. And he started crying. And Hazal said that the tears of the father-in-law dripped on one of the cuts that he had, because all the body was cut. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was, make a noise. And his father-in-law said, I'm ashamed to see you like this. He said, I tell you, if you wouldn't see me with those cuts, I wouldn't be who I am. Why does he have to sit in under the sand? The Mefarshim explained that what he calls nakedness in a world, by that wasn't Torah, in a previous life, that he was the prophet Ahya Shiloni, that people needed to worship idol. Now we have to rectify it. How does he rectify it? That he have to suffer midah keneged midah. So now we can understand the secret of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Let me just summarize. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a reincarnation of Ahya Shiloni. Ahya Shiloni was a prophet that lived for 580 years. Like we explained, in the age of 60, he was amongst those that left Egypt, an exodus from Egypt. He lived for many years. Ahya Shiloni was a righteous man. Then Nahum had been misled by Yerovam ben Nevat. Okay, that was from the tribe of Yosef. Later on, we see that it said that when Yosef and Binyamin met, vayiplu al chavarei Ahav, vayipol al chavarei Ahav. That means that they fall on the shoulder of each other and they kissed each other. Why? And they cry. Why did they cry? Hazal say that during daytime, it's going to be the destruction of the second temple and the first temple, that they're going to see that from their own descendants, later on, Yosef and Binyamin, that was two brothers, from their own descendants, going to cause the destruction of the first temple and the second temple. And we know that from Yosef came Yerovam ben Nevat, that misled who? Ahya Shiloni. That by that he signed the letter, he managed to convince the Jewish people, 10 tribes of the Jewish people, to worship, what do you call it? To worship idols. So Hazal explained, now you can understand that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu done all of it, what is it? Is to teach us measure for measure. But what is the message? Now we explain about, like Baomer, it's a day of joy and hope. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by that we tell us all of those, what Hazal telling us the story of Ahya Shiloni, the story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, what's happened with each one of them, include Yerovam ben Nevat. What is the message to us? Rabotai, I heard a beautiful interpretation you have to tell us. What is the message here? And the message of Lag Baomer is to teach us something extraordinary. Sorry. The message of Lag Baomer is come to teach us a number of things. Number one, those of you that was today in Shul, Rabbi, I forgot, no? Nehemiah Taylor. Rabbi Nehemiah Taylor mentioned that Rabbi Akiva lost all of his 24 students and he left with 5, only 5, that lived in the south of Israel, Hazal said, and from them, he given a lot of emphasis on them, he made them rabbi, and then the entire Torah spread from them. It's come to teach us, Rabotai, the story of Lag Baomer is that you never lose hope. And that's what happened with Ahya Shiloni. That's what happened with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, for 12 years, never saw the sun. He was all the time in a cave, couldn't go outside. People will say it's the caveman, in our language. There's no more chance, it's finished. The story of Lag Baomer come to teach us that a Jewish person can never lose hope. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always with him. Maybe for a certain time he have to be on a downhill. But when HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide to be on an uphill, that's going to come. And now I would like to bring a remedy to all of you. I would like you to listen to that remedy. When I read that remedy, when I heard that remedy, I was completely shocked. And with that, I'm going to conclude. To give us hope. Sometimes we all have difficulties in life. We're all feeling like everything, every door that I'm trying to open doesn't want to open. And wherever you try to put your foot, doesn't want to go. The Zohar HaKadosh say like this. When a person see that he have difficulty in life, and he feel like there's judgment on him, that wherever he try to turn, the door is closed on his feet. You should say those words. Rabotai, I'm going to say it slowly, and I want you to repeat with me, okay? Say it with you while you're there, because that's the remedy. Say the Zohar HaKadosh, when a person see that, he should say like this, Ani, me, kofer, I don't believe, bechol ha'avodot hazarot sheyesh ba'olam. That means that you're saying that you actually don't believe in any idol worshipping that there is in the world. You only believe on one God. And said the Zohar HaKadosh, as much that person say it more and more and more, it's actually helping to open back all of those channels, all of those doors. So the remedy of Lag Baomer is because Yerovam ben Nevat mislead the nation and they worship idols. Come the Zohar HaKadosh, that's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, listen to that, giving us the key, how to open all the door, how to get the prosperity, if it's health, if it's wealth, if it's for whatever you want, all the prosperity. If people can't find a shidduch, people don't have kids, people battling to understand the Torah, to open all of those doors, how do you do that? He said that you should say, Ani kofer bechol ha'avodot hazarot shekayamot ba'olam. That means I don't believe in none of the idol worshippers work that there is in the world. I don't believe it all. I believe only in God. And that's remedy to change the decree on us. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will show us the light, the same like Be'ezrat Hashem, tomorrow night, we're going to light bonfire to remind us of the Holy Torah, the secret of the Holy Torah that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote the Zohar. Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will enlighten an entire world, okay, and show His glory. And like we said, ועלו מושעים בהר ציון לשפוט את עריסיו, והייתה המלוכה להשם. Yeah? That's it. We're waiting for that moment that the Kadosh Baruch Hu will send the Mashiach, and the entire world will know that the Almighty, He is the King of the universe. He is the master of the world. And that's what we're waiting. Ezrat Hashem, that we should merit to see that light speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Now I'm going to give time for those of you that want to ask question regarding Lag Baomer or anything to do with Lag Baomer. If you want to ask question, please unmute yourself. B'chavod. Yeah, I'm waiting. Any question? Anthony,
Anthony, you.
Baruch Hashem and you. Yes, Anthony. Ken.
We allowed to have haircuts and listen to music on Lag Baomer. What is the reason we're allowed to have haircuts on Lag Baomer and listen to music on Lag Baomer?
Anthony, I couldn't hear you clearly. I lost you for 1 second. Can you repeat it, please? Would you mind?
Why are we allowed to have haircuts and listen to music on Lag Baomer?
Okay, why? Because Hazal said for 2 reasons, like we explained, that the student of Rabbi Akiva stopped dying on Lag Baomer. Therefore, because the reason that we're mourning for the student of Rabbi Akiva. Why are we not shaving? Why are we not having haircut? Why are we not having any simha? It's to show that we're mourning for the death of the 24,000 students of Rabbi Akiva. And Hazal in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat 33, no, Masechet Yevamot, Samech Gimel, sorry, my mistake, Masechet Menachot, not Yevamot, Masechet Menachot, Samech Gimel, okay? There they explain that the student of Rabbi Akiva stopped dying, okay, in Lamed Gimel Baomer. That means the 18th of year. I repeat, Masechet Menachot, Samech Gimel, 63. Okay. So therefore, that they stopped dying, now we finish the mourning for the student of Rabbi Akiva. Beseder?
Okay, so having a haircut is like showing that we're not mourning anymore. We're allowed to have haircuts, like a sign of no more mourning.
Yes. There's a different opinion according to the Sfaradi only on Lamed Daled, on the 34, because on the 33, the student of Rabbi Akiva still was dying. On the 34, Pasku Milamut. That was after they finished to bury them. You follow?
Okay, thanks very much.
Pleasure. Any other question? Bechavod. Stephen, you muted. Stephen, unmute yourself.
Rav, hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, the question is, if the students stop dying on Lag BaOmer, why is there different customs in terms of the non-shaving from Rosh Chodesh to Lag BaOmer, or otherwise, and from the beginning to Lag BaOmer, or otherwise from Rosh Chodesh to the end? Why is it different?
Because there is different opinion that say that until Rosh Chodesh, okay, until Rosh Chodesh Iyar, it still have the kedusha of what? Of Pesach. You know, we are in a joyous, we don't say Tahanun. If you look carefully, that during that time, we don't say Tahanun. Only after Aleph B'Iyar, only after Rosh Chodesh. So they say that it's a Yom Tov, so therefore you're not allowed to mow. Some people said, maybe because of that, now in Rosh Chodesh you're allowed to have a haircut. The only time that you're not allowed to have a haircut from Aleph B'Iyar until when? Vav Be Sivan. That's Shavuot. Although there is a different thing that, like it was Rosh Chodesh and Shabbat. You remember Rosh Chodesh and Shabbat fall together. Some people say that's for Ashkenazim, not for the Sfaradim, because I checked the halacha. Said there the Rama, yes, there is a leniency for those that keep the first part of the Omer. You're allowed to shave and to have a haircut. Nachon? זה רמה. The Sfaradim, the Shulchan Aruch doesn't speak about it at all. If you look, he doesn't speak about it. The Shulchan Aruch say, Pasku Lamud Belamed Gimel, they stopped dying on 33 of the Omer, but when they finished to bury them, when did they finish to bury them? Okay, on a 34. On 34 was no more death. Therefore, on the 34th day of the Omer in the morning, you can start having a haircut and a shave. Now, giving you all the opinion.
So in terms of the Rosh Chodesh, you say, so from Rosh Chodesh until before Pesach, before Shavuos, why do they extend it to that particular point?
Because they say that that was the time that we have to keep the morning. Nachon that they stop dying, but because they start from Pesach ad Atzeret, the Gemara say, Mi Pesach ad Atzeret, that's when the student of Rabbi Akiva died. Came here Hazal and say, Lag Baomer have two special things. What is it? Number one, that they stop dying. Number two, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai revealed the secret of the Torah. What does it mean? That we got the oral Torah in depths of the secret of the Torah. It's a day of joys. Therefore, now the morning is stopped. It's ended. You follow?
Yeah. And so, and beyond Lag BaOmer from the time from Rosh Chodesh, I just don't understand that. From Rosh Chodesh,
that's a different opinion. That's a different opinion.
But why? If it stopped, if everything stops on Lag BaOmer, why should there be a need to go on beyond that?
Because I'll tell you. According, you pushing me to say, and you're pushing me. I tried to avoid it, but I'll have to answer.
I need to
if
know.
you look at the mystical rabbi, the Kabbalists, the people that follow the Kabbalah, they keep all the 49 days.
Yeah.
Why? The Zakan, from here, look at me, from here, and here, and here, they are called Hesed. They are Hesed. From here upwards, they are called Dinim. You follow? In a time of from Pesach to Shavuot, there is 49 days.
Yeah.
We have to bring as much more Hesed to cleanse that 49 level of Tumah. So what is the Mekubalim say? Don't touch the beard at all. Leave Hesed, leave more Hesed to come. Because the beard is Hesed. Now, if you look at the Kabbalistic rabbi, and that will explain to you also why the Chabad, the movement of Chabad, never touch their beard. Why they never touch the beard? Because the mystical rabbi explained that the beard represents Hesed. All the beard here, especially here, this part. Okay, there's a lot of secret here and here. You're not allowed. Especially that when people shave, okay, they have to be careful not to shave with a razor. Why? Because when you shave with a razor, you're actually taking the hair from the root. What are you doing? You're taking the hasadim, the hesed, the mercy, the compassion, the kindness. Okay? Here, there's no problem to shave with a razor. The bottom part, yeah. Okay? Because the hasadim here finished. But the hasadim is from here. Can you see me, Stephen?
I can see you, yes.
That's all hesed. We don't understand how it works, but that's the explanation. So why are we doing it? Is to bring more hesed to the world, more kindness. We need more hesed on us that to change the decree that when we arrive in Shavuot, we're going to be a vessel to receive the new Torah. Because every year you receive a new Torah. How can it be? The Torah is written. No. The Torah that you have last year is not the Torah that you have 3 years ago. The Torah that you're going to have this year is not the Torah that you have last year. Every year you receive a different Torah. So it's much that you bring more kindness, more hesed to the world. It's allowed you to absorb different Torah. What it means, different Torah? The Torah is a Torah. To understand more Hidushim in the Torah, to understand depths of the Torah, in depths. You follow? And that's what the Zakan do. Now, if you look carefully, if you know mystical rabbi, they never touch their beard. They never touch their beard. They don't touch their beard. They don't shave it, not at all. Some people that don't want to show that they know Kabbalah, they just trim it, but they always keep the beard. What is the secret about it? The secret about it, when you shave, you actually take those hasadim that you want to bring, and you bring on yourself and you bring to the world. And that's the zakan. That's what's called the zakan, not to judge. And the seder?
The seder, thank you. It answered it well. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Rabotai?
Good evening, Rav.
No,
Good evening.
Jeffrey.
How are you doing?
And so,
Well.
how are you? I waited for you.
No, I just tried to put over my mind a few things that I'm trying to see how it fits. This great prophet Hirschloni.
Yes.
That he was at the time of Yehovam, the king. And yes, and he signed this decree. He signed a letter,
not a decree, a letter.
He signed a letter. He signed a letter from the king, validating. It was over the tax issue, to go with the which the elders thought there should be less tax, and the youngsters thought there should be double the tax, and he validated the letter. He validated the letter. But this has nothing to do with idol worship. I mean, later on when it became bad, I mean, shouldn't the prophet have?
Very good question. What happened with that letter? Now everyone can say, listen, what he's doing is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Listen, we didn't speak about Avodah Zarah. No.
Correct.
At that time, Ahya Shiloni already passed away. And that's what Asene Shaul been punished. He become blind. Kadosh Baruch Hu told him, because a mistake caused not directly by you, but you was a partner to sign with the other tzaddikim, you're gonna be punished for it. He died already.
Right. Now he's Judah.
Said to the nation, listen, look who signed for me.
Yeah.
And who chose Yerovam ben Nevat? Ask, who chose Yerovam ben Nevat originally to become the king of Israel, not Malchut Yehuda, not the king of Judea? Akadosh Baruch Hu put Yerovam ben Nevat there. Why? Because Yerovam ben Nevat was a righteous man. Only after he became a king, Hazal tell us in a Gemara, Akadosh Baruch Hu said to him, Yerovam, Hazor becha, Ani ve'ata be'ben David nelech. Akadosh Baruch Hu said to him, do atonement, Yerovam, do atonement. Do atonement. What did he say to Akadosh Baruch Hu? Listen, he's speaking to Akadosh Baruch Hu, Yerovam ben Nevat.
Who's going
He said
first?
To Mi Barosh, who's going to be the first to walk with you? Akadosh Baruch Hu said to the Mefarshim, said, Akadosh Baruch Hu told you, Hazor becha, Ani ve'ata ve'ben David. That means, who's going to be after me? You. But he asked Akadosh Baruch Hu, Mi Barosh, who's going to be the leader? Said to him, Ben David. He said, in that case, no, Ani lo hazor bi. I'm not going to do tshuva, say. I'm not going to do tshuva. Why? Hazal say that there is a time that when they're harvesting the field, it's called Keren Omer. And at that time they come, and only one king sit. Say Rehoboam, they're going to see the king, Rehoboam, sitting and me standing. All the 10 tribes will say he's not the real king and go with Rehoboam. Rehoboam say no. In that case, I'm sealing. No one can go up to Jerusalem. From Gvat Ad Yerushalayim. He closed it all, sealed it. He put security, and he make Yud Zayin, the 17th of Heshvan, the 15th of Heshvan, sorry. Tetvav Beheshvan is a special, he made it as his own holiday. Yud Zayin, that means 17. Why? Because the arrogancy and the proud. How much we have to be arrogant, to be careful of arrogancy and proud. And that's what it says. That those days, Hazal tell us, in Eretz Israel, because now it's summer, they read Masechet Avot. Why Dafka Masechet Avot? The ethics of the father that speak only about their Eretz. Now it's those time, from Pesach to Atzeret. Pesach is the festival of Pesach. Atzeret is Shavuot. We have to work on our character trait. That means to learn ourselves to be humble, to try to be as much humble, to change our character trait, like I explained in the previous show. What is the secret of Sfirat HaOmer? The 7 Sfirot, the seven dimension that we're counting from the 10 dimension. To work on our character trait, to destroy the arrogancy, the proud that we have. Kama ze hashuv. How important is it during those days? Beseder, I hope I explained that, Jeffrey?
Yes, very much so, Rob. Yeah, but his student was Eliyahu Hanavi.
Yeah.
So if his student was Eliyahu Hanavi, obviously knew exactly what went on. Exactly. Now,
what do you mean he knew?
He was from
he
his
was
role,
a prophet himself.
from his
Yes, he taught Eliyahu Hanavi, so he was greater than Eliyahu Hanavi.
Yes, but Eliyahu Hanavi followed him, so he would have must have turned around to the people and said, "This is total nonsense."
No, Ahya Shiloni didn't worship idols.
No,
he died
not him.
already.
No, but he signed a letter which was used to say that that he was in favor of this. But surely Eliyahu Hanavi knew this exactly and should have fought against it. And
Eliyahu Hanavi tried to stop them, and Hazal say that Eliyahu Bakarmel, the story of Eliyahu Bakarmel with the two bulls that those idol worshiper was going to sacrifice, and Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi tried to do everything, but the people was so much have brainwashed that they follow Yerovam ben Nevat. They washed their brain, and Eliyahu Hanavi took them to Hara Carmel, and he showed them. And he said to them, if I'm going to sacrifice if the Almighty going to accept my sacrifice, follow me. But if they're going to accept the Avodah Zarah sacrifice, tilchu achar Baal. And he didn't help. The people will still wash brain. And Hazal tell us in the Gemara that one day one of the sages was studying Gemara. And the sages, listen to that, Amora. He said in the Gemara, today I'm going to teach you about our friend Menashe, the king Menashe. Menashe was a king that worshipped idols. In the end of these days, he done tshuva.
Yeah.
And Menashe used to worship idols. At night, when he gone to sleep, that sage came to him, Menashe, in his dream, and said to him, I'm your friend. I'm not your friends. I'm not the friends of your father, and not your grandfather. And you call me your friends? Who given you the right to call me a friend? The sage has the courage, and he said to him, tell me, how did you worship idols? He said to him, if you was living in my generation, you would lift up, listen to that, you would lift up your garment, okay? and you would run to worship idols.
Yeah.
And Hazal say after that, all the sages came together and they managed to destroy the evil inclination completely, until that if a chicken didn't give an egg. So they brought some of the evil inclination back, the Yetzer Hara, but they destroy the evil inclination to worship idols almost completely. Although you see it in certain countries in the world, especially in the East, that there is some Mishugaim, that, worshipping the constipated one, the permanent constipated one. I don't want to mention his name, because it's a name of Avodah Zarah, so you don't mention it. There is. But the Yetzer Hara today to worship idol, it's hardly exists. So in that time, why am I telling you all of it? In that time, the Yetzer of Avodah Zarah was like people today have the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara in our generation, Hazal say, it's going to be Gilui Arayot, money, and proud. But it means proud, strong. Everyone want to show that he's the leader, he's the strongest. And you see today, people love money. People go ballistic about money. They'll kill for money.
Yeah.
Okay. For idol worshiping, the world is mess. You see what's happening. This one marching with this flag, this one marching with this flag, this one changes sex. The world is gone ballistic. And Hazal tell us that that's what's going to happen. The third thing is, proud and arrogancy. That people want the strength,
Be first.
I'm sitting in the government, I'm running, the yiches, how many stripes? Yes, exactly, Stephen. How many stripes? Tell me, to be a leader in any country with all the headache that they have. What's the use? We don't have a mayor in this country. Every second that the mayor change. Look at Israel. Mishugai, who want to be the prime minister of Israel? Only Mishugai. Only a person that is a bit question mark wanted to take that job. Ken, b'chavod, Ken.
Rav, Rabbi Taylor said, if you want to understand the whole issue of how the people became like ignoramuses, look at the Soviet Union. From the time the Soviet Union started until the fall, 70 years, and the Jews lost everything. They knew the Jew. Generally, the people of the Soviet Union, the Jewish people, knew nothing about anything about Judaism in 70 years. So you can see what's
nothing left. You know how many Jews?
No, there was not.
You know how many Jews? I know a friend of mine that he's a Moel. And these Jews that they found out that they're Jewish. They, in the age of 70, in the age of 80, some of them, he told me, 70 and 80. Those Jews never knew that they're Jewish.
Yeah.
Now we have to do Brit Milah to them. When they found out that their mother's Jewish, and they told them, those people in the age of 70, 80, I don't know how they've done it. I take my hat for them.
Abraham Avinu.
Yeah. No, exactly. So you saw that they're Jewish. But what the Soviet Union managed to do, to destroy everything that they can for religious. And that's what the Shomer HaTza'ir in Israel tried to do. Because the Shomer HaTza'ir and the Soviet Union is the same. One idea.
Communism.
One idolatry. They have the same idea.
100%.
Idealism. You know what is it? Idealism. That's what they have. One idea. Not religious. And that's what's happening today in Israel.
That's exactly the battle going on now.
Yeah.
That's the battle for the soul of Eretz Israel.
Yeah. So
Thank
if
you,
you
Rav.
ask them, how did they worship idols?
Now you
You can see it nowadays.
Now you can see it
Yeah.
from physical. How
That's why I brought what Rabbi Taylor said about the Soviet
Sure.
Union. That's where we
Sure.
see how the people were ignorant of in the day. It was social engineering. Social engineering. They did everything to make sure that they're not Jewish.
I have a cousin that a lot of time I quote all of his book, Yigal Libenu. His name is Yigal Alon, Rav Yigal Alon. And he was with Yad L'Achim for many, many years. Yad L'Achim. And in one stage, they came, because he was very involved with Yad L'Achim, he was very good. They came and said to him, we want you now to work on the Russian people. And he used to take the Russian people, and he said that used to take people that after 4 or 5 years studying with them, there was great Talmidei Chachamim, those Russian people. You have no idea what in 5 years, from knowing zero, nothing about religion, sitting in yeshiva for 5 years, he said to me, you have no idea what you see, what the mind, what the brain, and how does it work?
Well, it's like riding a bicycle. It's like riding a bicycle. If you don't know after many years, but once you learn before, once you start riding again, it's fine.
But they never knew. They never knew. They never brought up as a Russian. They never knew how to ride. But once that you put them on the right track, they become geniuses.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that's I heard from him. That's his book. Yeah, that's his book. Yigal Libenu. That's a lot of time I quote from that book. All the history that you hear from me, that I'm telling you about how many years ago from the creation, he wrote a book from the day of the creation, okay, until the end of book of Shoftim and Melachim.
Oh, wow.
On all the Tanakh, day by day, okay, he got the haskama, I don't know how you say haskama,
Approbation.
Yeah, from Rav Eliashiv. Rav Eliashiv given him. He loved them so much. And the son of Rav Eliashiv and him, they used to study Havruta.
Amazing.
And he told me, he took Russian, that knew nothing. Some of them never even was circumcised. They didn't even know. Only later on to find out. Great Talmidei Chachamim today.
Amazing.
Okay. Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai?
Well, this is a present day example of what you've just taught us and what this is all about. Never lose hope, because it's always a chance to come back. There's always a chance to rectify and remedy. That's fantastic. Thanks, Rob.
And that's us as a Jewish people. If we just remember it, on Lag Baomer tomorrow night, that when we light the fire, look at the fire. And if you look at the fire, then the mystical rabbis explained that there is 4 different colors on it. If you look at it carefully, you'll see that you see the red, then you have the black, then you have the blue, and then you have the light color. Okay, it's come to teach you, the fire come to teach you that fire always gone up when water goes down. That in Torah you always have to climb up. In humility, in humbleness, always go down. Exactly the opposite. But the Torah teach you how to be humble. And that's the secret that we can learn from Lag Baomer, B'ezrat Hashem. Rabotai, I would like to... Yes?
In fact, you take it one step further. When the Torah comes down to us, our neshamas go up.
Absolutely. It's lift up our neshama. And that's why we dance. Why do we dance? Did you ask yourself why people love to dance? You know, sometimes you see the Hasidim on Friday night when they sing Lecha Dodi and Kabbalat Shabbat, they dance. Why they dance? And what did they do in the dance? They're jumping. Wait, I don't understand. You can be in simcha without jumping. No, he's jumping. Why is he jumping? Because the neshama wanted to connect to heaven. Because the neshama feel when you start, and if I'll give you example, when you daven, you shuchu. People study at the yeshiva, they shuchu. Why? Because the neshama feel this feeling that they want to join. Now, lehavdi, people that study maths, people that study whatever they want to study, I don't know, engineering, you don't see them sitting and shuchrim at the university. Lehavdi. Why? Because here the neshama feel it. When the neshama feel good, she want to join. You understand? She want to know why? Because the neshama know. Where is it? In heaven, in up. She want to join it. You follow?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the shiur. And Be'ezrat Hashem, it will give you a different way of looking tomorrow at Lag Baomer, to understand what is Lag Baomer, to understand that although that sometimes we're in difficulty, like Rabbi Akiva lost everything, and it's looked like he didn't have any more hope. Only 5 students. No, he didn't give hope. He put a lot of effort. And from that came what? The Torah that we have today. Be'ezrat Hashem, that this festival of Lag Baomer, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Metziach Tzidkenu speedily now, Amen Ken Yeh Ratzon, and we'll see the Mashiach,
Amen,
all
amen.
of us together. Have a
Amen.
great night, Rabotai. Thank you for
Amen.
joining us.
Yeah,
I hope
thank
that you
you.
enjoyed the show. And Be'ezrat
Beautiful.
Hashem, we'll be in touch on Thursday night.
Amen.
Have a great
Thank
night
you.
and
You
a
too.
beautiful
God
week.
bless.
All the